PEMF, I would say at the moment is on such a boom, such a boost, and we have so many questions and so many people calling, like, you know, being in Australia and the Americans calling always at night. I turn my phone on silent, and when I wake up in the morning, I have something like 15 calls overnight asking for PEMF, asking for devices and for their particular problem, how they can use PEMF. So it's a really hot subject. We're selling more of the Clinic Duo than we did of any other device for quite a long time. And I have nothing out there but my PEMF expert training. So for you guys, start a training, make a training program, put it on YouTube. If you have a device, showcase, and the little DCM, for example, show what you do with it. Show and use the information that I share with you in these slides, because, you know, this is an incredible opportunity to make a lot of money. And I'll explain you the whole process, how it works. And you want to be the sales representative. So it actually works very simple. And a lot of people always say, look, I'm selling low price products. I'm selling products which are not that expensive because that's what people can afford. I can tell you there is heaps of people who don't think that that's expensive. I had a gentleman, I told him I have a device here. Oh, can I come? I bring cash, I'll pick it up. It's really no issue. And so don't be afraid to target high price products. If they have a value and you can showcase the value and you can see how people appreciate it, they are happy to purchase. So that's why the PEMF wholesale training is something that I would like to really encourage you to make your own, to stand up and to talk to people and showcase and present. You can do that one-on-one, or you can make a video and do it in groups or a workshop. But the more you do, the more you will see that this is something a lot of people want. I also have to tell you a very short thing which I found quite cool. There's a lot of people call me and say, Marcus, I have an infection and I would like to buy a PEMF. And I say, well, look, ozone would be a lot more suitable for that and it would work. Yeah, but I want a PEMF. But you know, ozone would be, and I stopped doing that because people get annoyed. They have made up their mind. They've read about it, they've seen it, and they want that. And it's actually a tough job to get them out of their scheme. They more or less want permission from you to purchase. And that's something, you're not just knowing that there is such a demand and that there is so many people keen on purchasing a device, should make you go alert and say, I want to earn some money. So let's go through the slides very short. I have, as you know, my setup, and you can always unmute at any given moment, and as soon as you say something, I hear that through the speaker here. I show you my slides. I have here some supplements that I would like to introduce, and they are also in the slides, and show you how to use the device. And otherwise, you see me as an overview. On my little couch here is nobody today. I have over here next week chiropractor, and the week after we have an acupuncturist. So we put up a bench here and then we train and show how to use PEMF with acupuncture. We show how to use PEMF with chiropractic, and we record that as a training and put it out. So either you send people to my training videos or you make your own. And I tell you what, do it. The reward is much better and you earn money and you become famous yourself, which is a great thing to be in the industry because people start trusting you. Okay. Now, very short, I don't spend a lot of time in the previous. Treating yourself in any form is always legal. Now, PEMF is also legal in regards to pain management, arthritis, energy, boost of immune system. All of those things are proven and are approved. CE approved as a medical device, so there is no risk. I would not say, hey, if you have cancer, you need to treat with PEMF, because that's still not approved. So don't claim diseases, claim what the device actually does. And this is what we are focusing on in our presentation today. There is also a big problem, and last time when I mentioned it, some people said they didn't know. This is actually a really big problem. Do not treat minors. If you do, and they have a disease, they're diagnosed, the oncologist, their doctor, everybody can take you to court. There is no legal protection because you are treating someone that is not legally allowed to be treated by you. And if the parents do it and you show the parents how to do it, that's fine, but don't do it yourself. There is a big problem, and this is getting a really hot subject at the moment. We had several people getting into trouble because they were treating minors, and most clinics even refuse to work with minors. So just be careful in that concern. The main effects, and I just put the slide, I hope you can see the slide. I put that onto the screen so that you can see it. Arguments that we use when we talk about PEMF is energize with PEMF, very important. We feed energy into the body. My analogy with the toothbrush, you know, like that's empty, and then you put it on a stand. There is no electrical connection. It's just induced through that little pin. And that's the same as we have with PEMF to the body. We pump electromagnetic waves in form of negative ions into the body, recharge all cells, and have more energy. And that's something you do on a consistent basis. And because disease is exhausting, just having a flu, you know, like how you drag around and how exhausted you are and how tired, this is not what you want. So, and healing is very challenged if you have no energy. And that's why feeding the body with energy and pumping it full, you know, horses love it. It's a real general simple thing to energize a body so that they can heal better. And that's why you see such great effects with people that do it. The next effect, you remember the video with Dr. Henning Saupe in Germany where he was so completely excited when he did the treatment with the PMT 120, and boom, every single patient, every doctor that we tested, the blood oxygenation was probably the most powerful thing that you could see. It was like whang, full throttle, the energy unfolding in the body. And oops, I changed the slides, I wouldn't do that. You know, like those cell membranes that are cleared from all the gunk. And you all of a sudden have then the energy to catch up the nutrients is absolutely mind-blowing. So we detox first, we throw out all the toxins, clear out the membranes, and then the nutrients can go in. And when nutrients go in, that's when ATP production and everything starts to work better. The DNA process, the Krebs cycle, is activated. So it's really important those two go hand in hand. Clearing the channels and nutrient go in. And then the oxygenation on top of that, which gives, you know, the Krebs cycle needs glucose and oxygen to work, to produce ATP. And that's pretty much all that happens. Because a lot of people come to me and say, Marcus, if we treat glaucoma, and there is research that it works with glaucoma, with all sorts of diseases. Why does it work for that? Why do they have an improvement with arthritis? Why do they have an improvement with different, all different types of diseases? Because of that. Throwing out toxins is one of the main problems that we all have. We are all overloaded with toxins. You know, 6,000 times more lead in our bodies than 100 years ago, when you take the bone of a person from 100 years ago to today. And that's just lead, plus mercury, plus plastics, plus, you know, like all the lot. And that's why getting rid of those toxins out of your intracellular fluid is the key. So detoxification, nutrification, and that's it. Now this slide, I would really put up everywhere because it shakes loose heavy metals. It clears ion channels, allows the cell to breathe oxygen, induces nutrient uptake. All of a sudden, all the nutrients can go in. We have oxygen supply, increases detoxification, increases ATP production. That's pretty much all your PEMF will do. Nothing else. But that leads to healing of so many different diseases, which is what we want. So it's actually really cool. There is one thing, if you do a demo and you show people or you tell them to do, that they drink water before and after. It increases the effects of PEMF and the results manyfold. And I have been neglectant of that. I didn't tell people that intensely enough. But you will find when you do the blood, lifeblood analysis before and after, you will find that people who drink before and after and during the treatment will have much better results. So water is the solution to pollution. Now let me just go through very short those slides. You've seen them probably in the PEMF training. We have intracellular toxins, those who are dogging on to the cell, and then the extracellular, which is in the plasma. And that's where all the toxins travel. Now, I have too many screens here. Now, when we have toxins outside in the plasma, they can be caught. When they're dogged on to the cell, they can't. And this is something that a lot of people ignore, that when they are charged, negative charged, those heavy metals, for example, and they dog onto the cell, they just block the channel. They don't allow nutrients to go in, and they block that channel. Now, there's two things that shake them loose, that make them move, and that is magnetic field and exercise. That's why everybody says exercise is almost like chemotherapy. It cleans the body. It blows all of those toxins out and releases them so that we can catch up and bind them and eliminate them. So exercise, trampoline, lymphatic system, all of those things are important, but you do quite a lot with PEMF to use the same channels to get them loose. Now, we pump in PEMF, we throw those heavy metals up in the air, and then we have binders to catch them. If you don't have binders in your body, what happens? Boop, back on. And that's a problem. A lot of people don't think about that. I do a lot of presentations at the moment. I have this device, I had the big one, and I just started to, test out. If I invite local chiropractors and show them the device and have them do the treatments, what is their response? And almost all of them buy a device, so that's really great. But what you will find is that some of them, they have that nauseating dizziness, slight reactions. They feel a headache coming up, stiff neck, something that you actually want to get rid of, not induce. And that's the people who are on medication, for example, who take a lot of medication, who are on pain meds and. So what I found is when I ask them beforehand all the different things, I check about medication. I give them water, and we have the ACZ zeolite spray. I give them that before, so that they start using it, so that the toxins that are released are caught. But I will talk about the new system, the Black Box 2, in a moment. We've been doing a lot of research on that, and it's actually a really great thing. So I'll talk about that in a moment. Binders, really important. You can get modified citrus pectin, clay, ACZ, all of those things, charcoal, chlorella, all the greens, they all catch it. But they all, when I told you, you need to vary, take some of these, and then next week take something else, and then try different things, because we always want one thing to do it all. When I explain you the black box system, you will understand why this is actually such a complicated system and what it works. So as soon as we bind them, they are eliminated from the body, and then nutrients can go in, and that's it. Black box. I did a presentation over the last 3 days, and I'm still learning and doing it again. So you will have that coming out tomorrow as a newsletter, where I cover all the different aspects of those different remedies, what they do. And I just copied that into this slideshow, and let me just drag it down that you can see it. We are dealing with heavy metals, mold toxins, which is really important. See, a lot of people have mold or were exposed to mold, and it's something that blocks all your detox pathways. As soon as you had mold exposure, your detox pathways don't work properly. And that's why cleaning up that mold toxicity first so that your detox pathways start working again is really important. And that's what is all included. So it's a very intelligent, very cool system. So we deal with heavy metals, mold, plastic compounds, hormone metabolites, which is also important, and herbicides and pesticides in one product. And because it comes with a little booklet, and let me see if I can hold that here in front, you can see it has those 3-week programs. So when you see here, week 1, you know, half a tablespoon, 2 pumps of this, 1 pump of that, 2 pump, and then afternoon, PM, you have the same again. And with your teaspoon, it takes you through the whole lot, and it's very simple to use, and it actually tastes nice. This is one of the things that I really love about the system. It's very nice. It's a liposomal transport system, so everything you take is taken directly into the cell, and it actually crosses the blood-brain barrier, which very rarely anything else does. If you take clay or modified citrus pectin or any of those things, it doesn't. So the delivery system is very powerful. And then it takes you through liposomal glutathione, master antioxidant. And I put the slides underneath so that you have them in your transcript and you can see what all of those things do. It has the methyl B complex, which is very, very important for your cellular membrane, and your methyl groups that break down the toxins in the liver. Yeah, so I won't go through that. I have that all explained in my slideshow that you get tomorrow. But, you know, bitter herbs to strengthen the detox pathways in the liver, the dandelion dim, which is then important for all the mold, and NRF2. If you combine, for example, the dim product with ozone, you produce NRF2, that healing switch that starts the activation of self-healing in a very powerful way. So, like I said, Ultra Binder, which is all of those things that we talked about, you know, zeolite, bentonite clay, and activated charcoal, all of that combined in one product so that you can bind all those toxins before they go out. So there's individual products that you can take, like those binders. I would get a large quantity of those binders and keep using them together with my PEMF, because they combine all the different binders that we were talking about in one product, so it's really cool. But the whole black box is a system that activates your liver, gives you all the nutrients, gives you all the vitamins and everything the liver needs. I found this, I didn't mingle the two slides now, but when you see what your liver pathway 1 needs to break down toxins, and you see all the nutrients, they are in here. Then you look at what the detox pathway 2 needs, again, all very important nutrients that make up that pathway, support the liver, help with the binding, are all in there too. So it's very, very sophisticated program that combines all of those things in one, saves you a whole lot of different studies and taking this, taking that, does that work with this? You know, like detox is not easy, and they combined it really well. So, you know, I don't have anything from you ordering the system. This is not something I sell. It's just something we found extremely effective. And because PEMF has that attribute of being a powerful detox, a mega powerful heavy metal detox, you know, and we are all really, really seriously toxic. So it's a great program. Do it for a while and then have a break, and then you can do it half a year later again, and you will find that you discard in those 4 weeks more toxins than you would do in half a year of dangling around with little bits and pieces. PEMF language. I struggle with people that call me and say, oh, this cures this and this disease, or you use that for these and these problems, because it is easier to sell to someone if they have a problem and I focus, on arthritis, and I focus on whatever their problem is to target their names. But it's very dangerous if you do that, because you make false claims and false promises. And by selling devices, from the markets, from all the stalls that from health trade shows and fairs people have very often the tendency to advertise something for something it's not. And I'm usually quite cautious about that, and that's why using those arguments, what we've talked about, increases detoxification, helps you with getting rid of, and the ringer devices also destroy pathogens. So these things are claims that we can make, which are legal, but they don't really, cure particular diseases or focus on that, because otherwise it becomes also unbelievable, non-believable, when you say it cures your glaucoma as well as ALS as well as cancer. That's not really true. Okay, contraindications, something you should know and you should be aware of. And let me just pull this down so that you can see it in big. Implanted electrical devices like pacemaker, cochlear implants, these are like pumps, diabetics have them. Pumps, because magnetic field can shut down the device. I am using PEMF and have my watch on without a problem. I have my phone right here and I put it on highest power and nothing happens. Now I use Apple, so they say Apple is very well shielded and it works, but just don't go the risk. If somebody comes in and you sit them down, make it a routine and say, all your electrical devices please on this plate or into this little basket and put it away. If they break, a Mercedes key or BMW or Audi or whatever we recently had is $1,400, to replace. So just hearing aids up to $15,000. So be careful. And pacemakers, they fall dead over. So be very careful that you don't do that. Patients with organ transplants, there is an indication that it actually can reject the system because they are on such high medication that you need to be careful. Safety of PEMF has not been established in pregnancy. And let me just clarify that. I think it's healthy for the baby, but if you have a pregnant mother who has lots of mercury in her teeth or is highly toxic, youth growing up, young and very intelligent, pulling the body into all sorts of toxic environments, and then they have a baby. And now you come and you shake loose all of those toxins. They are traveling through the bloodstream, and the bloodstream of the baby and the mother are one. So they travel into the baby. A baby has no detox system active, not at all. And there is no blood-brain barrier, which means all of those toxins circle through the whole development fetus and can settle in the brain, can settle anywhere in every organ. And because there is no detox, there is no immune system that clears it up, it's only the mother's immune system, they can create havoc. Now, I haven't put it in here. I really encourage you to look at that. You take a tiny piece of mercury and you put it into a petri dish where they grow those nerve cells, and you can see the nerve cells are growing. You put the petri dish in and dying of the whole surrounding around that tiny bit of mercury, the nerve cells die off. Now think about, you have mercury pumping from the mother's toxins, shaking loose into the baby, and then the baby develops and it has those toxins in the brain. It just causes too much risk, so don't. Detoxification with something like this prior to pregnancy, during pregnancy as well, but without PEMF. So be very, very careful. We are all very toxic, so this is a risky thing. Be careful with dental implants, and that is something because of the problem that we have with different metals. You have mercury, gold, palladium, all sorts of different metals, and they can corrode each other. And as soon as you have different metals in your mouth and you would do a dental treatment, you know, you sit here and treat someone like that, very, very nice, it's beautiful. If you have not different metals in your mouth, then it's all good. But if you have and you do the treatment, then you release those in massive waves into the body, and all of a sudden the person goes afterwards, oh my God, I'm so sick. Yeah, duh. That's the same problem that we have with Rife. And do not use high intensity PMFs over breast implants. Now, we have a few patients that have breast implants and they are sick as hell. So they sent me a lot of information on those different types of saline solution and whatever. And we've been checking the content and what is in them and the material they are made of. And I can tell you what, they are highly toxic. They are seriously toxic. So if you have someone with breast implants and they want to use PMF, you need to have them sign a waiver and very clearly state that those toxins that may be released from the detox process, also from the material that those those packages are made, can cause a toxic side effect. So implants, I don't talk about bone implants, those screws and metal joints and artificial hips, that's fine, that's titanium. But the silicon, the softness, all the things that we talked about before in the heavy metal detox, they are very, very risky. So you don't want them to be released into the system. Plus those magnetic valves to refill and make boobs bigger is kind of a challenge with that magnetic pulse. So look, I stay away from it. In the beginning I said, it won't be that bad, but the more I study, the more I realize how dangerous those things are. I don't want to cause more harm, and I don't have a benefit of giving them a treatment and making them more sick. It's not good for me, it's not good for them, and I won't have a sale from that anyway. So just stay away and be careful with it. Side effects, very simple. Herxheimer reaction is very rare. It's actually not as intense as I thought. Those nauseated headaches, tingling, burning, overstimulation. So be careful when you have a very sick patient that you don't overdo PMF, that you start gently and slowly build up so that the immune system can actually cope with the detox and the problem. Okay, I think we've pretty much covered all the points. Here's like a summary. Wallet, a basket, and really put that up. Have you removed all the electronics? Credit cards, they are wiped, they don't work. I've been so many times in overseas countries and my credit card didn't work because I had my wallet in the pocket. Stents with metal inserts, you want to avoid those. Clamps, you can see this. This is actually quite a significant part when you have those bypass surgeries and they have those clamps, because they can rupture and you don't want to cause the rupture and someone bleeding internally. Necklaces and chains and nose piercings can cause sparking effect, so be careful that you don't have that. Hearing aids are very expensive. Mobile phones, I should have put an Android here because Apple really is strong and survives. And that's pretty. On the page that I sent you afterwards, I have all the slides as a PDF. So you have each individual slide with all the content. And then you have two other documents. One is the chart here that you can see. Do I see here? Let me drag this in. You can see here the big one. That's a timetable where you really focus on which device, when did I do the treatment, what intensity, what the location, and what was my before and after symptoms. How did I feel before? How did I feel after? If you do that with the client and you have them sign the client name, you document your process and that you start out gentle and that you don't put them in for an hour. And you know, the problem when people buy, they get the machine home, they're all very excited, and then they use the device for an hour at a time and really hard, bum, 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 and then they call me and say, oh God, I got so sick. If you practice and you do it with someone else, it's a lot more dangerous than if they do it to themselves. So just be careful that you don't do it. Fill out that form. I have you another chart which shows all the contraindications, and you can see underneath it says, I hereby declare, here, I hereby declare that none of the above listed contraindications apply to me. In case I'm not certain, I will discuss it first with my health practitioner prior to starting the treatment, and you have them initialize. Is that giving you a complete back out? Safety, client has been informed of the contraindications or and possible side effects, the same thing. I hereby declare to watch carefully for any of the above symptoms described, but not limited to them. Stop therapy or anything unusual happens, notify the club member or the consultant about my symptoms. Very important. Never ever ignore those things, because you want to, first of all, make the patient conscious about what they need to look out for. And secondary, you would like to make yourself a safety door, that you told them about it, and that one sentence, we added that just recently, but not limited to them, because they could have other symptoms that you didn't know exist. So always be careful, follow through. If you treat, if they do it at home, it's their own issue. That's why I like to sell devices and not treat, because it just makes my life so much safer and so much easier. Plus, I have a great commission. You know, $50, $50, $50 can be nice. But I tell you what, it's a lot of time. Everybody has a million questions. They sit for an hour and talk. They never go. When you have a PMF, you have all of a sudden more visitors. You know, I have neighbors now coming to me. It's really strange. So you don't want to do that too much. Rather sell them a device, have a good commission from that, and you're done. Okay, PMF may seem harmless therapy, but can lead to an extreme Herxheimer. Ease into therapy. Do I have that big? Yes. Always start slowly and in moderate setting, and then observe your response. Drink plenty of water to flush out toxins. Prepare before and after treatment with binders to capturate. More does not help more. And let me just go back to that, because this is one of the things that I am king of. You know, it's not only you, it's me too. More helps more. And I wanted to test that theory, and that was one of the questions that one of you sent me through. Marcus, how much is too much? Try it out. I put that loop, the big loop, onto my cushion and sat on it. And then I turned the machine on while working on my computer. And if I work sometimes 5, 6, 7 hours, I stand up sometimes, then I put it around my neck and had it pulsing there. When I was sitting down, I was sitting on it, and I did it for 5 hours in one go. Just non-stop on the highest setting that I could actually bear. Because when you work, you don't want that jolt all the time. So, and it was getting really exhausting. And I noticed after about 2 hours, I was getting seriously tired, very tired. And then I started to really, you know, I couldn't focus anymore. Brain fog, concentration problems, everything. And I found, I did that over a few days. I found that when you do things in a recharge and then you let the body do the work, and then you do a recharge and let the body do its work, even if you have an hour or two in between, you will find that it's not draining. But if you keep doing it too long, the spike, the energy goes up and then it falls down, and you can lay down and have a nap or a sleep. And certainly it depends on what your toxic load is, on all of those things. But I found it best for me and for all the people that I work with if we just push and then give it 2 hours, 3 hours before you do another treatment. So rather allow the body to do the work that you instigate, and then come back and push a little bit more instead of going all the time. Okay, rather build PMF into a daily routine, like recharge the battery, and do not keep charging the battery, but use the energy to enjoy life. And I guess that's a very important one, right? Enjoy life. So recharge and then go out and have a walk. The chart here, oh, see, I have it even in big. You see the screen. This is the setup, physical observation, mental observation. See, I couldn't see that before. Very important because a lot of people have mental changes as well. Supplementation and binders. You can see here on the right, we have liver boosting supplements, milk thistle, holy basil, dandelion root. It's all in here. Then you have binders, B vitamins, that's in here. And then you have, where's the B vitamin? Here, the PUC. So it actually, everything we've written down here that you should take in individual pieces is combined in this. And this one here has, oh God, I can't read. That's too small. B12, folate, vitamin B6, milk thistle, thyme, you know, cool. Very, very nice, all in one, so I don't need to stress myself with a very high, complicated setup. How do I treat this? How do I treat glaucoma? How do I treat? And let me just tell you very, very simple. You treat. No matter how, it works. Let me just turn you very short to the screen here. It would mean you see the device. Now what I have here is in the middle a button that says individual. Then I can turn the right side on or the left side as an individual device. Now if I use them individually, they use the full capacitors for that device. So we have 4000 Gauss and 4000, which makes if I use only one side, and I would use my, where is it, loop on this side, connected to this side. So I turn that on 5 minutes. Now I turn that up to full power, and now I have 8000 Gauss. And it's actually, I don't know if you see me twitching, a really strong pulse. It is, you know, pretty close to a PMT. So you feel like a massive jolt. And that's because I use only one applicator and both capacitors, both electronic units feed into this one. So it's quite strong. Now if I would turn this to both sides, now I have only half. Now I have the 4000 Gauss that the device has for this, and the other 4000 go into my pad. And that's why using that double gives you, the duo, gives you that extra kick if you really need to go deep and need an intense treatment. But it also allows you to use 4 and 4 for 2 different applicators. So it's a very nice concept that they've developed here, and it allows you to control them also individually. I can turn it back on. Now it's full strength on this one, and I can make my mat in the background on a smaller pulse just to feed a little bit into my kidney area. So I have this one on low and this one on high, and they both feed into my body. So 8000, I probably still have here 6000, 7000, and have here maybe 2000 or 1000 Gauss. You realize you can shift and change and move it around, or you have them equal at the same. See, if I regulate down now, then both go down. Do you see me or the machine? Ah, you see me, that's wrong. Do I need to repeat? If I have on simultaneous, I go up and both go up. If it's exactly half-half. If I do this, now I can turn my pad that I lean against on full power, and I can do this one here around my neck on low. So I have the possibility to do them separately, and they split the energy apart. Oh, let me put that on hold.
Marcus, could you do that with 2 different people?
Could I do that with 2 different people?
Yeah.
Yes. Here, you get the loop. You get the loop, and I get the butterfly, and I do my teeth. Perfect. That's what a lot of people do, or treat two different areas. See, you can certainly treat two different people, one with a very low setting, turn that on, and use the butterfly or the loop for them, over here. And that's a person that is treated now with this device. And then I sit on this side and I treat my teeth, and have it on very low. And just do duck, 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 duck around my teeth to strengthen my bone and reduce infections, while the other person has a full-on treatment. Certainly possible. I haven't come across that situation yet where that would make a lot of sense, because very rarely you have two people having treatment at once. But what I found is when you do, for example, a massage or acupuncture or a treatment like a chiropractor, they have people lay on the mat. So you use that pad and you lay them onto the pad and they have the treatment. And then you treat a local area like their knee, for example, knee infections, hip problems, shoulder problems. You treat that with the high setting. So that would make it quite logical. So they get an overall charge for the body, but they have a high intensity treatment for something which is a painful position. Females, incontinence, sit on that loop and have incontinent treatment, and the rest is just an overall charge just to make them feel more relaxed and better. So many different ways, no limitations with that. Okay, so what else do we need to do? We need to look at the different positions. No, just know that when you do the 5-position treatment, and I'll just go through that very, very short. You don't even need anything else but the big loop. So if you have clients that come and all you have is the big loop, that's it. You first sit them on the device, recharge from the bottom up, root chakra. Then you put it in the back, lean them against kidneys, adrenals, sacral area, spinal cord, the diaphragm, the immune system from behind. Then you move it up, either, if you want to do that extra session, between their shoulder blades, which is good for the joints and for the back, but it also gives them, for the heart and for the lungs, massive detox, oxygen uptake. Then you put it around their neck, which is good for the lower jaw and the upper jaw. You can pull it up into the brain and do a head treatment. But thyroid needs so much energy, so it's a really important thing. So you treat the thyroid, thymus, lungs, heart, again from the front, and then you put it on their belly and have a treatment for their immune system and for the gut and for the liver. You can move it right and left and all of that. That's pretty much it. That is a full body recharge, a full body detox, and a full body treatment. Nothing else is required. 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, done. So if you have those 5 positions, if you use, then it's a really short treatment, very effective, and does the trick. Now, if you want to use the paddle, which comes, by the way, with this device, so it's quite a big paddle, it's very nice. You can do the treatments locally, for example, for your pancreas, or you can do a liver treatment, or you can do a joint treatment, if you have problems there. I use the big loop all the time, and if I have something like my knee problems or elbow problems, I use the butterfly. So I don't think you need much more. Everything else is accessory that you can use more with your clients if they lay down and you have a massage while you do the treatment. Okay? Got that? Any questions to treatments? Teeth, double loop, and then you go around like that, and really slowly, every pulse that you send in counts. It's not only, and let's face it, if you do it on a level 2 setting, this is so powerful. It treats your spine in the back and your hypothalamus and your amygdala at the same time. This is not just locally, it's very intense. So you can do that to treat your jaw. Bone density, when you have a broken hand, you can put the hand in between and treat your hand, because in the loop, in the center, it's the strongest. Okay? What else? The small device, the single device, as you can see here on the slides, the single device has, on the one setting, one light on, 750 Gauss. Dr. Rao said he doesn't buy a single device that is beyond 500. Lower than 500 has no effects in the clinic, and they have 25 devices. They use it in every single room. So the one setting is 750 Gauss on the butterfly, so that's the strongest. The loop has probably half. The big loop has probably about 300-400 Gauss, because it's a bigger range, a bigger area that it covers. So if you want butterfly, 750. On level 2, if you just go one up and you put it on level 2, you have already 1400 Gauss. And then going up to the highest level, which is 390, and this is measured in US, 110 volt. When we measured here, we had 4,140 Gauss, so 220 volt is a bit stronger, but the device regulates that itself. You can have it as a desktop and single, and this is the duo. And you will find all the prices and all the information on the website. So, for those of you who think you turn that into a career, and money income, a constant money income, make a video and put it up and put your affiliate link underneath, or your contact details that they can purchase from you. You order on the website, and let me just show you very short. You go onto the website and apply the coupon code when you check out. I'll go through that in a moment. For those of you who just sell maybe one a month, or one every half year, use the coupon code TH minus coach minus confidential. And that gives you 20% discount. So if you look at the chart here, you can see here I have it made big. Okay, I did that wrong. I can't zoom in here. So you have here on the chart, you see 21,000 for the big device. You have $4,000 profit, which is yours. So you pay only 17,000 instead of 21. If you subtract the other coupon, the coaching coupon, then you have $5,000 as a profit for selling the device, the big one. This one is $14,000, so it's 20% is $2,800 profit if you sell this device. And that's really cool. Like I said, I have 2 chiropractors now. They sell devices and they compete with me who sells more. It's really fascinating. They are so close to clients and work with clients and show the results that they so easily sell the little device or the duo device to almost every second client. And they have more profit than if they keep treating the client. So how cool is that? So you enter the coupon code, and then you enter the shipping address of the client at the bottom. So client details go into the shipping, which means you only show with your device and send the device directly to the client, but you charge them the money and they pay you. So it's a really, really simple system. Now let me just go back very short. I'm on the wrong screen. If you only sell now and then, use TH minus coach minus confidential as a coupon code. If you would like to sell more, and this is a reward program, you go from 20% commission to 25% and then 30%. If you sell more than 5 devices, 1 to 5 devices, so if you sell 25 commission and 11 and more, 30% commission per month. Now you can imagine what that means. It's a massive income stream. It's a massive ongoing process that I don't need to do anything but take a call and talk to the people and just clarify their questions. And sometimes that's not even necessary. Last night we had 2 sales without one phone call, just from watching my YouTube videos and then buying. So I really encourage you. People always think it's only me who does it. Duh, you can do the same thing. I'm a normal person. I'm just a, bloke from the street who picked up, and I'm passionate about PMF. So I did my research and I share that research. But you can do exactly the same. Create competition videos to me. Make a video where you explain the effects of PMF. Your voice, your personality will attract different people. You reach different demographic. If you're in a different country, you might have 5 times the results than I have. Maybe they think, oh, he's Jurglish, German English, a funny guy, speaks very screwed up, so let's go somewhere else. And they might buy through you. I don't mind that. I think the more we share knowledge with people, actually, if we have something that helps, we should share knowledge. And that's what you can do too. So do it like those chiropractors and educate people. Show when you have a device what it does, make them feel the device, and then sell it.